Freshman number 5, Zaire Simmons. Senior number 11, Jaquan Briggs. Senior number 13, Yasin Crawford. And starting for Kennedy, senior number 15, Jesus Rivera. And now the starting lineup for today's home team, Memorial West New York. Starting senior number 1, Alejandro Orengo. Senior number 2, Ethan Garcia. Senior number 5, Omar Rendaye. Sophomore number 15, Edward Luga. And starting for Memorial, senior number 34, Aaron Swan.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back inside East Gymnasium here in Fort Lee for game number 2 of our 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Basketball Tournament. And this one will feature a late addition to the tournament field. The Kennedy Knights of Paterson have come calling here to take on the Memorial Tigers of West New York. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by Dimitri Nanis and Renee Matisic. So glad that you could join us for our broadcast courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletics Department's YouTube channel. In our first game of the day, Passaic Valley outlasting Bergenfield by a final score of 62-44. This was supposed to be Memorial taking on Riverdale. Riverdale had to bow out of the tournament. Kennedy was a last-second addition, and the Knights made their way from Paterson here. Prior to the game, they were not playing in any holiday tournament, so they will come back here. They are a team that won this Jack Reilly Championship in 2019. They are in the all-black. In the white is Memorial, and Kennedy has won the opening tip, and the Knights will play here in the half court on offense. Memorial comes into this game 1-1 on the season, coached by Steve Leon, and Kennedy is coached by Tommy Paterson. They are 0-2, looking for their first win of this brand new season. Feed inside, the first shot missed. The follow-up attempt also clanked off the backboards by Zaire Simmons. No good. Rebound inside by Aaron Swan. Now the open floor. Momar and Daye. He's the leader for this team. 11.5 points a game on the floor. Here's the hustle play leading to the open shot from outside. Alejandro Orengo missing that one. He's the leading scorer with 12.5 points per game. Both teams frigid at the start, but the offensive glass has been kind. And finally, the putback is in for Aaron Swan, the senior center, who averages 5.5 points per game to begin this season. Both teams playing volleyball a bit as they were crashing the offensive glass for second, third, and fourth opportunities. Here's a corner three right in front of us, no good. Another offensive rebound, but the putback also no good on the play by Crawford. Here comes Memorial in the open floor as a Hudson County versus Passaic County matchup here in Bergen County. Why not? Just after Christmas time. As it looks like it's going to be a violation against Fort Lee on the turnover right at midcourt. Again, Kennedy, the last time that this tournament was held in 2019, they won the tournament championship over Paramus Catholic here in Fort Lee. We thank Coach Paterson for being able to rally his troops and get them to play in this tournament at the last second. Knocking down that jumper, you've seen Crawford. Crawford with the first 2 points of the game now for Kennedy. Tying it up at 2-all. Here's the full court pressure. Memorial pinballing that one around, and eventually it's another turnover forced by the Knights. Here comes Kennedy in the open floor. Jalen Gore, number 1, lobbed it off. As now the Knights trying to slow things down in the half court. 2 minutes gone by. On the baseline, weaving through the defense, leaving us short on the near side was Zaire Simmons, one of the top-ranked freshmen in New Jersey. In the open floor, and one. As that was Alejandro Orengo, the leading scorer for this Memorial Tigers side, getting the bucket and the harm, and he'll try at the old-fashioned three-point play at the foul line. Orengo had 9 points against St. Peter's Prep in their last game coming back on December 22nd. Might have had a teammate move early, was going to miss the foul shot anyway, but that was a violation on the foul shot. So it will be just a 2-point basket. 4-2 the lead now for Memorial. Memorial went 3-5 in the shortened season a year ago. Nice weaving move inside, and there's that dynamic player underneath, Zaire Simmons. The freshman getting his first 2 points of the game, deadlocking the score now at 4-4. Here's that full court pressure being administered by Coach Paterson's Knights. Little shake and bake by Ethan Garcia. Garcia up in the air, and Dye from distance knocking down the triple on the far side. Momar and Dye, his second made three-pointer of the season. And Dye averaging 11.5 points per game this season so far for Memorial in their first 2 contests. Has given Memorial a 7-4 advantage. 3 minutes gone by here in the first quarter. Briggs to the near side, working around the perimeter. Now back to Briggs. Stops on the baseline, draws the contact, hits it into the side of the backboard, but drew the contact in the act of shooting, and that will send number 11, Jaquan Briggs, to the line for 2. The senior who's one of the leaders of this side for Kennedy. Briggs missing on the first foul shot opportunity. Both teams have only committed 1 foul apiece so far here in the first quarter. In our first game, Bergenfield was plagued by countless number of fouls. That's what hurt them, as well as the efforts of the leading scorer for Passaic Valley. If you're just joining us, Brian Whitney went for 38 points in the win for PV in that opening game. 7-4, still the lead for Memorial after Kennedy missed a pair of foul shots. Here's a long-range shot off the mark there. Memorial laying off it, and that's going to be last touch deemed off of the Tigers. And Memorial will go out of bounds. Possession now for Kennedy. Kennedy down by 3, and that time the ball just slipping out of the hands of Simmons, out of bounds for an unforced error and a turnover. As Memorial will now inbound it with a full court pressure again, once again being administered by Kennedy. Fernando Hernandez, number 22, getting through the pressure, leaving it off for a teammate on the baseline, swatted it away and rejected by Kennedy. The Knights doing a good job of erasing that effort at the rim by Simmons. Here's a baseline take, and the layup is good by Jaquan Briggs. Briggs with his first 2 points of the contest. Here again, the full court pressure by Kennedy. They're quickening up this tempo. They force the turnover. Here's a shot from long range, and the 3 is good. And Kennedy now with 5 unanswered points in this one. Jesus Romero knocking down the triple. Kennedy now taking a 9-7 advantage. This full court pressure really wreaking havoc right now against Memorial. The foul is going to be whistled against Kennedy, and that will be the second personal foul charged against Jesus Romero. So a timeout's going to be taken on the floor with 3:37 left to go in the first quarter. The Kennedy Knights, a late addition to this tournament field, scoring the last 5 unanswered points in the contest to take a 9-7 lead here in the first quarter of the 2021 quarterfinals between Memorial and JFK here at the Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament. So after the timeout, 9-7 lead for Kennedy with 3:37 left to go here in the first quarter of play. Again, Jesus Romero just picked up his second personal foul. He has both of the fouls against Kennedy in this first quarter, so Romero just knocked down a three. He's going to have to check off the floor for Coach Tommy Paterson. This Kennedy defense administered to the full court has really been wreaking havoc. It almost was a backcourt violation. Memorial really struggling to get it past the midcourt stripe. They just do in time before the 10-second call. Give and go inside off the hands and another turnover. Here's Simmons with a power dribble, reversing it to the right side of the hoop and lays it in. Simmons now with 4 points in the game. 11-7, Kennedy starting to gain control. Unafraid there, going right to the rim. The layup originally was no good by Garcia, but Aaron Swan cleans it up inside. Swan with 4 points. 11-9 as Memorial finally stops that prolonged run on offense here for Kennedy. Tavion Shaw's checked into the game for the Knights, number 0. They get it down low to Simmons. Simmons trying to get that pressure, but good job of not fouling, done by Swan. In the open floor, layup left short by Arango. And now Kennedy will take it back. Helter-skelter play of late. There's the pull-up three. No good by Kennedy. Swan with the rebound inside. Here comes Garcia the other way. Double team coming to him. Garcia keeping his dribble the whole time. Down low to Swan. Swan was disrupted there as his attempt for a layup inside. Good pressure defense. Here's the open floor for Kennedy. A lot of contact. Referees letting them play as Briggs missed the initial shot. And now a foul is going to be charged against Memorial. With 2:04 left to go in our first quarter of play, an 11-9 lead for Kennedy. The winner will play in the semifinals against Passaic Valley tomorrow afternoon. The loser will play against Bergenfield in the consolation round. Inbounds pass a little too low, and that's going to lead to the tie-up. Good hands by Arango. Tying up with the possession arrow will give the ball back to Memorial as the Tigers will be set to inbound. Coming up on 2 minutes left to go in our first quarter of play. Alejandro Arango had 16 points, 8 rebounds in the opening day win against Nutley. Working around, and Dye getting it back up top to Hernandez. Hernandez's three, the offering no good, missed it to the left side. Arango trying to anticipate that pass, nearly picked it off. Instead, Kennedy will recover. As we approach the final 90 seconds of the first quarter. Kennedy on top of Memorial, 11-9. Kennedy in the black. They are the roadside here. A late addition to the tournament. A nice give and go and the finish inside by Jadir Montgomery. Again, if you're just joining us, fans, this was supposed to be a matchup of Memorial versus Riverdale. Riverdale could not play late here before the start of the game, as that's a nice curling move to the rim. Inside by Swan. Kennedy subbed in late and finished out the rest of this field. Wayne Hill's also a late addition to the field after Westwood bowed out. On the baseline, curling up in the air, left no good. Swan with a rebound. Sent down the other way. Arango in the corner. Arango will slow it up and hand it off to Garcia. 30 seconds left to go in the quarter. Will Memorial elect to take the final possession of the quarter? They're down by 2, but the pocket is picked. A steal in the open floor, and then a reach-in foul whistled against Ethan Garcia. Active hands by Tavion Shaw, the senior, number 0. He was not going to allow Ethan Garcia to just dribble out the remainder of that quarter. Active hands got the steal, and then a foul whistled after Garcia trying to strip it right back. Garcia's first, team's third of the quarter. Off the inbounds, that ball is left short on the air ball. And Dye got the rebound. Arango on the baseline, thinking about it was Hernandez. Soft floater blocked away. 5.6 seconds left to go in the quarter. 13-11, the lead right now for Kennedy. Fernando Hernandez looking inside for Swan. It falls into the hands of Ndiaye. His shot off the mark. Trying to beat the buzzer, but Kennedy will not get it out into the open floor in time, as that will finish off an exciting 8 minutes of play. Kennedy on top of Memorial by a score of 13-11. Stick around as we'll head to the start of the second quarter as you're watching live and on-demand coverage of the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament here on Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Zaire Simmons leading the way for Kennedy with 4 points. Aaron Swan with 6 points for Memorial. Again, Memorial 1-1 on the season. Win against Nutley, a loss against St. Peter's Prep, one of the top 10 teams in New Jersey, losing 59-40 at the barn in their last time out. Kennedy 0-2, losing in their opener against Teaneck 69-64, then lost against Paterson Charter 47-34. Head coach Tommy Paterson's Knights, a team that is no strangers to winning holiday championships here at Fort Lee. They won the last edition back in 2019. Were called earlier this morning, asked if they were available, if they wanted to participate after Riverdale dropped out of the tournament, and the Knights showed up here and have taken a 13-11 lead after the first 8 minutes of play. Into the corner, and that's going to be a travel whistled against Shaw. Possession now going back to Memorial. 7:21 left to go in the first half. Ethan Garcia. Ndiaye handing it off now to Swan. Swan over to Arango. Arango with a left-hand dribble. Pulls up from deep. Off the back iron, and Ndiaye keeps it alive. Back to Arango. Pulls up again. This time he knocks it down. Alejandro Arango with 4 points in the first half. Ties the score up at 13-all. Knocked away. Rebounded by Fernando Hernandez. Hernandez out to Garcia in the open floor. Play to the far side. Here's Kennedy in the open floor, and they'll lay it up and in. Jaquan Briggs now with 4 points in the half. 15-13 the lead. And Ndiaye a little out of control, missing that runner. Rebounded inside. Here comes Kennedy. They're looking to run. They'd love to push the pace. Getting high in the air was Shaw, and he'll be fouled on his way up. That'll stop the clock with 6:14 remaining here in the first half, and will send Kennedy to the line, try to extend their lead. Davion Shaw, the senior point guard. He'll be short on his first foul shot opportunity. That'll be the fourth team foul against Memorial. Kennedy have committed 2 fouls of their own here in the first half. Second foul shot is good. So Shaw has his first point on the board. Kennedy now has taken a 3-point lead at 16-13. Led by 2, 13-11 just after the end of the first quarter. Pressure right in front of Coach Paterson at the Kennedy bench. Last touch off of the Knights will be an inbound for Memorial. Memorial in their last full season in the 2019-2020 season, the Tigers went 16-9 overall. Kennedy in that last season before came to an end in March due to the onslaught of COVID. They won a sectional championship. We're playing their way close to a state title appearance. A rejection on the defensive end for Kennedy. They drop it off inside. Dangerous as it was a tumble taken by Ndiaye. Thankfully, he is okay, showing off that athleticism where he went over the back of the Kennedy player and braced himself on the fall. That could have been dangerous. Said it's just going to be simple foul on the floor against Memorial. Momar Ndiaye will pick up his second personal foul, though. He'll check out of the game. Jada Boykins, number 33, the sophomore, will come in for him. Kennedy leading by 3, 16-13. 5:45 and counting left to go in the first half. That time, Briggs just left it short at the rim. Here comes the breakout the other way for Memorial. Marengo trying to curl around the defender, just can't get free. Inside, the big man, Swan, brought it down low, but he was fouled in the process. Be a foul on the floor against Kennedy, but Swan doing a good job of drawing that foul on the play. 5:31 left to go in this second quarter. 16-13 Kennedy. Marengo again, not afraid of the contact, missing the floater though. Swan tried to wrestle back the possession. It'll be deflected, last touch off of Fernando Hernandez, out of bounds. Things have slowed down a bit after a fast start to this game. There's a telegraph pass and a steal the other way for Garcia. He gets fouled on the right side of the rim. He's frustrated. He thought he should have had that layup. Had a chance at a three-point play. But he does draw the foul. That'll send him to the charity stripe, shooting 2. Aston Crawford will pick up the personal foul. That's going to be team's 4th for Kennedy. Setting Ethan Garcia to the line for 2. Garcia gets the shooter's roll and will connect on his first point of the game. Garcia had 3 points against St. Peter's Prep. Had a great performance in the season opener against Nutley. 9 points, 7 assists, and 4 steals. Goes 1 of 2 at the line. In the open floor, hanging in the air, and again missing. That time was Briggs. Memorial has been adept at contesting and making life very difficult for Kennedy. Here comes that helter-skelter play from both teams. Briggs, what a job of spinning around there and laying it in. Jaquan Briggs now with 6 points of the game for Kennedy. Marengo dispossessed from behind on his way to the hoop. It'll stay here with Memorial. 18-14 lead for Kennedy. Jaquan Briggs, top player for this Kennedy Knights side, leading the way with 6 points. He's scored 4 of his 6 here in the second quarter alone. Inside, no look, and a nice finish inside by Boykins. 18-16 now, the Kennedy lead, and Memorial now starting to put on the full court pressure. They get it to Briggs. Briggs with the up and under. Swan's just his presence there, looming large. Garcia in the open floor, a lot of contact again, and it's going to be a push call against Kennedy as Ethan Garcia was making his way quickly to the rim. Fifth-team foul against Kennedy here in the first half. 4:19 left to go in the second as we're quickly approaching the midway point of the second quarter of play. Nice no-look inside. Boykins, though, was rejected. Here's the open floor for Kennedy, and that leads to the layup attempt, but missed on the play by Shaw. That was an easy 2, just not able to be converted by Kennedy, and it leads to the 2 points for Aaron Swan the other way. 18-18. That was a 4-point swing on the play for Kennedy. Kennedy should have had 2 and led to the 2 the other way to tie this game up. Now a missed shot. Marengo finding an outlet. Down the floor. Good ball movement. Extra pass. Open 3. Knockdown 3 in the corner. Ethan Garcia capping off a beautiful offensive possession. His first made 3 of the game. Now Memorial forcing the turnover for Kennedy. All momentum on the side of the Tigers. Underneath the rim, stripped, but out of bounds. Last touch off of Kennedy. Possession will stay with Memorial with 3:21 remaining in the first half, and now a 21-18 lead for the Tigers. That was beautiful ball movement, barely even touched the floor before it got to the hands of Garcia for the corner three. Arango tried his luck from distance. No good. Here comes Kennedy the other way. And a clean block on the play by Boykins. Boykins has been excellent since coming to this game after Ndiaye got a foul. And quickly, Swan lays it up and in. Double digits now in the game. 10 points for Swan. Largest lead of the first half, 23-18 for Memorial. Kennedy the other way, left-hand layup, and one. Jaquan Briggs now with 8 points in the half for Kennedy to stop the bleeding and pull the Knights back to within 3 with 2:53 remaining in our first half. So just after it had been sloppy for a bit, now things starting to pick up and percolate here on offense for both teams. Three-point play is good by Briggs. He's got 9 for Kennedy here in the first half. 23-21, Memorial on top. Arango into the corner. Here's a long-range three, nothing but net. Elliot Naguer knocking down the three. Then it's going to be a subsequent foul in the reach-in. Might be against Naguer. But Memorial's starting to pick things up from three-point range. Garcia followed by Naguer. So now it's back-to-back threes for Memorial have staked themselves out to a 26-21 lead. That is going to be the 7th team foul against Memorial. So that'll be 1-1 now for Kennedy. With a clock stop with 2:30 left to go in our first half of play. As that shot, no good on the front end by Crawford. Missed opportunity there for Kennedy. They try to win back the possession again. Here's Crawford in the open floor to Briggs. Briggs lays it up and in on the left side. Double figures now for Jaquan Briggs, 11 points in the game for the senior. 26-23, the deficit facing Kennedy, who just were added into this tournament field earlier this morning, prior to the start of the first game after word spread that Riverdale would not be able to participate in the championship event. Here's a long-range three, no good. Shaw with the rebound now for Kennedy. In the open floor, up and under, drawing the contact. And once again, heading to the line, Yasin Crawford, the senior. .145 remaining here in the first half. Crawford hits that foul shot after missing on his first attempt. Crawford with 3 points in the half. Jada Boykins now picking up his second personal foul. Boykins came into this game after Momar and Ndiaye also picked up 2 quick fouls. So Coach Leon having to go to his bench. Second foul shot no good, but the offensive rebound secured by Kennedy. Inside, trying to kiss that off the glass was Gore. No good though. Here comes Memorial in the open floor, 90 seconds remaining in the first half. The trailer is the big man Swan. Swan with a nice touch inside. 12 points in the half now for Aaron Swan, the senior center. And fouled on his way up, Tavion Shaw. He's been disruptive against this Memorial half-court defense. Swan hit in the head, and now Swan will earn himself 2 opportunities at the foul line with 1:15 remaining in the first half. Swan and Kennedy really not making the most of their foul shot opportunities here today. 1 of 6 at the line so far in the first half. Swan, though, makes amends, gets the second one to fall. He's got 2 points in the half. 28-25, Memorial's lead is 3 as we approach the final minute of the first half of action. Dan Long, so glad you could join us here on the Fort Lee Athletics YouTube channel. Fort Lee, the host of this 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament. The winner will play Passaic Valley tomorrow in the first semifinal. Swan picking up his dribble, handing off to Garcia. 50 seconds and counting left to go. Federico Santos, number 24, had possession. Now back to Garcia. Watched by Shaw. Shaw has already forced one steal. Now it's going to be a reach-in foul whistled against Shaw. That'll be foul number 6 against Kennedy, so they have no more fouls to give. Next one would be single bonus. 34.9 seconds left to go. Garcia across the lane. What a nice dish, but that time that time Swan was not able to fit it home. But the follow-up by Jesus Santos was good. One of the rare misses for Swan inside. Now Kennedy trying to get that ball back, and they can't. And now a travel called against Memorial. So in that last possession, a nice give and go down low to Aaron Swan. His shot was too long, but cleaned up on the play by Jesus Santos, the senior. Getting his first 2 points of the game, and now Memorial has grown their lead to 5. 15 seconds left to go in the half. Kennedy down by 5. Swan, long-range 3. Hits the front of the iron. Memorial tipping it out. 3 seconds left. Half-court heave. That one is short. Memorial had another opportunity, but fumbled away by Federico Santos. But the Tigers have to be happy. After down by 2 at the end of 1, they'll take a 5-point lead with them into halftime. It's Memorial of West New York 30 and Kennedy of Paterson 25 as we head to halftime here at Fort Lee. Stick around as we'll be bringing you all the action to start the second half in our second quarterfinal of the day. Welcome back, everybody, inside East Gymnasium here at Fort Lee as we're moments away for the resumption of play in the start of the second half of our second quarterfinal this afternoon, with Memorial of West New York leading a late addition to this tournament field, the Kennedy Knights of Paterson, by a score of 30-25. And a look at the stats from the first half of play for Kennedy. They were led by the 11 points of Jaquan Briggs, the senior, taking control of the scoring in that second quarter, scoring 9 of his 11 in that quarter. Freshman Zaire Simmons also chipped in 4 points all in the first quarter. And for Memorial, they're led by their big man, number 34, Aaron Swan, the senior center, with 12 points in the game. Alejandro Arango and Ethan Garcia also have added 4 points apiece. JFK led 13-11 at the end of the first quarter, but then Memorial outscored JFK 19-12 in that second quarter to take their current 5-point lead into the start of this second half. Dan Long, Dimitri Nanis, Renee Matisic, so glad that he could join us as part of this Fort Lee Athletics broadcast here on YouTube. We will be bringing you all of the games throughout this entire tournament on the 3 days of this event. Today is the first 4 quarterfinal games. Then we're going to have some consolation games in the 2 semifinals tomorrow. And then we'll come back in a couple days' time on December 30th for the remaining consolation games, third place game, and the championship final. So stick around. Your home for basketball here is on YouTube. Memorial missing a 3 to start off the second half, but the putback is good by Aaron Swan. He has been an unstoppable force in the paint in this game. Swan getting the hoop and the harm, and now a chance at a 3-point play. Swan with 14 points in the contest. The foul shot, nice touch there, giving him 15 in the game. Memorial stretching their lead now to 8, 33-25. Briggs going right at Swan, not to be denied himself. Now Briggs with 13 points in the game to lead the way for Kennedy. It's the 2 leading scorers for their respective sides getting into the scoring category right away to begin the second half. Memorial leading 33-27. Trying to go to 2-1 on the season and advance to the semifinals to take on Passaic Valley. Across the court, leave off inside. And Dye left it in the air and spinning around and finishing it is Swan. Swan with a nice touch for the big man inside. He's got 17 and has great hands underneath. 35-27, the lead back to 8 now. Romero saddled with foul difficulties for Kennedy. Now back in the game, takes the shot from 3, no good. Tipped out by Ndaye. Kennedy going hard to the rim, and it's going to be a travel on the call. Travel is the call, excuse me. As Kennedy was cutting across the middle and took too many steps there on that possession. 6:35 and counting now left to go here in the third. Kennedy filling into this tournament. Again, if you're just joining us, Riverdale was initially supposed to be the opponent for Memorial. They bowed out of the tournament. Kennedy, a late addition this morning, and coming ready to go. There's Romero off of the turnover. Jesus Romero now with 5 points in the game for Kennedy. 35-29. Kennedy has generated their best offense thanks to their defense. And speaking of that defense, Zaire Simmons forcing the turnover against Alejandro Arango. Inside the lane, fallback jumper, no good. Offensive rebound secured by Gore inside. Here's the floater off the back rim, no good. Tipped out of space. Here's Romero again on the baseline. Corner 3, trying to draw the contact. Referees weren't buying. Crawford was the one flopping in that far corner. Arango, kick out. Here's a 3 in transition. Rattled in and out for Fernando Hernandez. Romero with a baseball pass. Anticipating that one with the interception was Aaron Swan. Swan doing it on both sides of the floor. Hernandez kicked out into the corner. Around the baseline, feeding caught in the air. There's the turnover. Things have gotten sloppy between both sides. And Dye says no. The rejection at the rim. Here come the Tigers in the open floor. And Dye for three. Got it! And a quick timeout taken as well. Memorial stretching their lead now to 9 at 38-29 on the three-pointer knocked down by Momar and Dye. So the defense on one end of the floor by Ndiaye. He skied high to reject and get a piece of that missed shot. And then on the other side of the floor on offense, Ndiaye just waiting for the opportunity, set and fired from three and knocked down the triple to make it 38-29. Memorial now with their largest lead of the ball game here at 9. Our following broadcasts in our third game of the day will feature Passaic, a league rival of Kennedy, taking on Wayne Hills. As Kennedy breaking the full court pressure quickly, getting it down the floor for the easiest of layups for Jalen Gore. Gore's first 2 points of the game. So after the timeout, Memorial kind of fell asleep there on defense, and it was just a simple one long touchdown pass that led to the easy layup the other way for Kennedy. Back to within 7 now, 38-31. Kennedy trying to ratchet up the pressure themselves. They force the turnover. Romero unselfishly leaving it behind for his teammate. That'll be Briggs now. 15 points, in the game for Briggs. Kennedy trying to go on a run here after they fell behind by as many as 9. They've cut back to within 5, 38-33. And another turnover after Fernando Hernandez coughed it up, picked up his dribble, and then shuffled his feet. Dropping it off inside, some contact, but no call, but the layup does fall. As that'll be Briggs again with another layup. 17 points in the game for Briggs. Kennedy has gone on a 6-0 run. They're back to within 3, 38-35. Orango to the near side as we've reached the midway point of this third quarter. Memorial has led by as many as 9 points in this game. Kennedy, though, on a 6-0 run. Laguerre had given it over to Hernandez to the near side, and the intensity level starting to ratchet up here on defense for Kennedy. They've gotten back into this game because of their defense. 3:42 remaining here in the third quarter. Hernandez in the near baseline looking for an outlet. To Orango. Orango, top of the key. Dribbling down, taking his man all the way to the hoop. He's blocked, but then tips in his own miss. Resilient effort there by Alejandro Orango, now with 6 points in the game. First points of the second half. Here's a long-range three and banked in by Kennedy. Zaire Simmons, the freshman from downtown. He's got 7 in the game. 40-38, Kennedy back to within 2. Hernandez stops, left behind the ball. Here's Briggs the other way. Briggs shielding off the defender, draws the contact, nearly laid it in as well. As that time he felt the presence of Ndiaye behind him. Shielded him off, drew the contact, and now we'll have a chance to tie this game up at the foul line. It'll be the third personal foul against Momar Ndiaye, as he'll have to check out right now in foul difficulty. With 2:56 remaining, they don't want him to potentially pick up his 4th personal before the fourth quarter. Jaquan Briggs to the line, shooting 2. The senior leading the way with 17 points of the game now for Kennedy. swishes home the first foul shot, giving him 18 in the game. Kennedy a point away from deadlocking this game after they trailed by 9. A game of runs, and this one just hangs on the back of the rim and falls down. 19 points in the game for Briggs. 40-40, now the score. Hernandez getting pressured, getting it over to Garcia. Garcia is fouled on the reach-in. Good sportsmanship there for Kennedy, as Zaire Simmons fouled Garcia, then helped him back up to his feet. That'll be the second personal foul against Zaire Simmons. Garcia off the screen inside, open for three, no good. Swan wrestles back the offensive rebound. Extra possession here on offense for Memorial, trying to retake the lead in this tie game. 2.5 minutes left to go in the third quarter. Arango, bullet pass, hooks that around. There's some contact and a foul whistled on the floor. Not getting over in time to be stationary to draw the offensive foul, and that's going to be a foul against Kennedy. That'll be the fourth team foul against the Knights here in the third quarter. Only one foul so far in the second half against Memorial. 40-40 the score. Again, 2:24 left to go here in the third quarter. Garcia to the top side. Looking for the screen. Takes it down the right side. Kick out. Here's a long-range three that drops for Fernando Hernandez. Memorial back on top by 3. And that's going to be a whistle foul against Memorial. Only the second Tiger foul of this second half. That will be a foul whistled against Fernando Hernandez. So Hernandez, who just gave Memorial the lead right back with his triple, now picks up his second personal foul. Here's Briggs. Getting it up top now to Simmons. Simmons gets his pass deflected. Memorial out in the open floor. Arango tried a little too much there with a stutter stop and the dribble. Again, great sportsmanship being displayed by a couple of these Kennedy players, helping Memorial players up and off the deck. So Arango a little too fast there for his dribble. Romero nearly turned it over. Just swatted it forward to Gore. Here on the baseline, Simmons weaving his way to the rim. Oh, what a move there by the freshman. 9 points in the game for Zaire Simmons, one of the highly thought of freshmen in New Jersey basketball. Little gimpy afterwards, might have knocked into someone, the tail end of that play. Underneath, good recovery defense. Combining in on the block was Gore and Simmons. Here comes Kennedy the other way with a chance to retake the lead of their own. As we come up on the final minute of the third quarter. A good one here in our second quarterfinal of the day. Simmons. Backwards pass to Briggs. Leaner shot deflected before he could get to the rim. Again, Kennedy just playing volleyball at the rim. Tipping it out in front, and then a reach-in foul against Memorial. It'll be foul whistled on the floor against Memorial, as that time it was LaDorian Ladson, number 4, the senior for Kennedy, who's trying to go up with it. But again, not in the act of shooting. 43-42, 47.6 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. Ladson up top. Maneuvers around into the corner. There's a three from the corner. No good by Romero. Again, Kennedy using their effectiveness on the offensive glass. Another offensive rebound. Inside, denied. A good rejection there by Memorial, as that was Jesus Santos who denied the effort at the layup. Garcia the other way, up and under, shielded himself away from the defender and gets the layup. Garcia with 6 points in the game has given Memorial back a 3-point lead. As we come up on the final 10 seconds of the third. 45-42 the lead here for Memorial. Kennedy, 5 seconds left. Simmons pulls back for three, no good. Again, Santos with the rebound. And that'll do it for an exciting conclusion to the third quarter of play. After 3 quarters, it's Memorial on top of Kennedy by a score of 45-42. Don't go anywhere, fans, as we have the fourth quarter upcoming here at the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament, this quarterfinal showdown on day number 1. Quan Briggs leading the charge for Kennedy with 19 points in the game. Aaron Swan with a game-high 17 for Memorial. In this public school matchup featuring Hudson County and Passaic County. Memorial 1-1 on the season. Kennedy 0-2. Again, if you're just joining us and kind of surprised, where's Riverdale? Well, they could not participate in this tournament. That information, an announcement came down earlier today. And a last-second addition, Kennedy. They came calling here, and they're trying to advance back to the semifinals. The Kennedy Knights won this tournament the last time that it was being run back in 2019 in December. They went on to win the championship over Paramus Catholic. So they're trying to defend their team title here as a late entry into this year's field. Winner plays Passaic Valley. Crawford's shot from distance was left short, and there that time crashing the glass was Jesus Romero. Memorial thought they got a clean block on that denial, but instead a foul was whistled in the act of shooting that'll send the senior guard Jesus Romero to the line for 2. Memorial led by as many as 9 points in that third quarter, only to see Kennedy come back and tie it up before Memorial scored 3 late points to take that advantage into the start of this fourth quarter. Romero missing on the first foul shot attempt. That has been a big problem for Coach Paterson's side. Missed foul shots aplenty. Romero goes 1 of 2 at the line. He's got 6 points in the game. 45-43 now, the lead for Memorial. Trying to bounce back after a loss in their last time out against St. Peter's Prep. Garcia off the pick. Trying to set it up down low for Swan. Swan brought the ball back down low. That took away his size advantage. And a foul whistled behind the play as it was going to be a layup the other way for Kennedy if there was no holding foul. So that was a good foul, all things considered, for Memorial. Memorial now picking up their 5th team foul. Kennedy with 4, so looks like we'll have a lot of foul shooting coming our way here in the fourth quarter. A minute gone by here in the start of the fourth quarter. 2-point lead for Memorial. Here's a pull-up jumper on the near side, no good. Romero tapping it out. Not a lot of defensive rebounds here today for both sides. A lot of offensive rebounds. And there's the shooter roll that will fall down. 21 points in the game now for Jaquan Briggs. His first 2 points in the fourth quarter as Kennedy has fought back to tie it up at 45 all. And here's thievery again. This time it's Yasin Crawford picking the pocket of Fernando Hernandez. Memorial has struggled with possessions here throughout this game of keeping away from the steals for Kennedy. Now the Knights with a chance to take the lead back, but despite a nice move up top at the foul line, steps and traveling the call against Zaire Simmons. It is exciting to see the potential in this number 5 for Kennedy, only a freshman. 9 points in the game. Garcia across the lane, a whirling dervish deflected on that pass attempt for Ndiaye, went out of bounds. Now the officials conferring with one another. Referee will change the initial call that had it going the way of Kennedy. Instead, rightly so, as said, last touch off of Kennedy. Inbounds upcoming now for Ethan Garcia. Orango trying to get free. He has not been able to get things going here. He's the leading scorer for Memorial. Hooks around the defense and draws the contact on his way up. Might have been fortunate not to be called for the hook call. That play happened just in front of us and looked like he hooked around the defender to get free. Instead, they called Kennedy for the foul as Orango was making his way upwards towards the rim. And now Alejandro Orango, the senior who averages 12.5 points per game, heads to the line for two. Orango will knock down the first foul shot. 7 points in the game. Now for the senior star for these Tigers. Second foul shot also good. Gives Memorial the lead back now at 47-45. 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter. Winner plays Passaic Valley tomorrow in the semifinals. Mistimed jump underneath by Kennedy, but they force the turnover. And now Romero was trying to get things going, and a timeout taken by Coach Paterson. As Coach Leon, vociferous in his displeasure at how his team is not being able to defensive rebound here today, let out a roar of displeasure. As we'll take the timeout with the teams here on the floor. Memorial on top of Kennedy, 47-45 here through the fourth quarter of play at the 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament. Jaquan Briggs leading the way for Kennedy, a game-high 21 points. Aaron Swan has scored 17 points in this game for Memorial, but has yet to get on the board here in the fourth quarter of play. Dan Long, so glad that he could join us for our coverage of this 2021 holiday tournament here at Fort Lee High School, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletic Department. Glad that he could join us here on YouTube. 5:51 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Memorial trying to move to 2-1 on the season. Kennedy in search of their first win of the new season. Romero plays a game of catch and then a nice fall-away jump shot on the far baseline. Jesus Romero now with 8 points in the game. 47-47, deadlocked again. Garcia maneuvers down to the baseline, leaves it off, and Ndiaye getting it up top to Orango. Orango with a lefty dribble, dribbles it off his own foot. There's another turnover forced by Kennedy to the open man on the far side. Briggs lays it up and in on the left side. Briggs with 23 in the game now for Kennedy. And Kennedy back on top, 49-47. As we come up on 3 minutes gone by here in the fourth quarter, another steal by Crawford. Garcia pokes it away from behind, but it still will be possession for the Knights. The defense for the Knights has been brilliant here since falling behind by 9 points in the early vestiges of the third quarter. The Knights defense has taken it to another level and really has frustrated Memorial. Pass inside and a bear hug there inside against number 4, LaDorian Ladson, preventing him from scoring that basket, but Ladson was fouled in the act of shooting, so Kennedy will try to extend their lead and try to make the most of these advantages at the charity stripe, as that will also be the 7th team foul in the process against Memorial. Foul shots the rest of the way in this game for Kennedy. As Ladson had a nice shooting form there, knocks down the first foul shot, his first point of the game. (50-47) now the lead for Kennedy. They led after the first quarter 13-11. Then Memorial took control in the second, led by 5 at the break. Missed second foul shot. Orango, though, left the ball behind. Another turnover for the Tigers. Feeding out on the open floor. Good feed there. Crawford finishes off the assist. Credited to Briggs. And Kennedy's feeling momentum swing in their favor, leading 52-47. Their bench getting loud in support of this defense. Crawford has been brilliant on ball. Garcia up and under with reckless abandon, just couldn't get it to fall. Swan kept off the offensive glass. Here's Briggs in the open floor. Shakes over, and nice floater finish on the far side. Jaquan Briggs taking over in this game right now, fans. 25 in the game for the senior. 54-47, largest lead of the game now for Kennedy. As we've reached the midway point of the fourth quarter. Who will be the difference maker here for Memorial to get back in the game? And Orango does a nice job of drawing the contact. That will be the 6th-team foul against Kennedy. Their first foul committed here in the last couple of moments, and now that's going to be 1-1 the rest of the way for Memorial as well. Down low in the post, here's Swan maneuvering inside, tries the high left-hand shot, no good on the layup. Rebounded inside, great positional defense by Latson. Swan's got the bigger size advantage on Latson, but Latson played great positional defense and then cleaned it up on the defensive rebounding. Romero a little too loose on the dribble, leads to the turnover the other way. Garcia maneuvers in for the layup, and a quick timeout taken with 3:20 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Memorial trying to inch back closer. They trail 54-49. Jesus Romero was just trying to do a little too much for Kennedy on the other side of the floor and lost control. Ethan Garcia did a good job of taking it down the floor the other side and maneuvered his way inside. Garcia now with 8 points in the game. He's got 8. Orango with 8. And Dye with 6 points for Memorial. And Aaron Swan, the big man inside, leading with 17 points for the Tigers. Jaquan Briggs has been brilliant here tonight. 25 points for Kennedy. 9 points for Zaire Simmons, the impressive-looking freshman. Jesus Romero has also chipped in 8 points as well. 54-49. Kennedy is led by as many as 7 in this game. Memorial is led by as many as 9. This back and forth affair. An exciting one for our second quarterfinal. Again, the winner knows that they will be playing Passaic Valley here tomorrow afternoon in a game that you'll be able to watch here live or on demand for free, courtesy of the Fort Lee Athletics Department. The loser will take on Bergenfield in the first consolation showdown in the consolation bracket tomorrow afternoon. So Romero will do the inbounding. Memorial putting on the full court pressure. Blind pass leads to a turnover. But Kennedy's just able to swipe it away in time. A big play there as it looked like Memorial was destined to have the turnover. Beautiful crossover. Briggs all the way to the rim. Oh, the best take of the game there by Jaquan Briggs. He stole back the possession as it looked like it was destined for a turnover, did a killer crossover up top, and then laid it in with the left hand. 27 in the game for number 11 in black and red. And there's Latson again, athletic inside. Tipped it out in space to Orango. 56-49, the deficit facing Memorial. Orango looking inside. Boykins kicks out, long-range three. No good by Garcia. Wrestled inside by who else but Briggs. Latson gets it stripped away. Hustle play by Garcia. Gets it to Ndiaye, who gets his basket. 8 points in the game for number 5 in white. Here comes the full court pressure. Tapped out in space. Crawford goes up for the layup on the right side. Missing it. Follow-up attempt by Simmons. And the freshman is fouled with 2:13 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Memorial was so close to intercepting that dangerous outlet pass to the full court pressure in the middle of the court. But Latson did a good job of just quickly touching it with his hand over to the right side to Crawford, who missed the layup, but again, this has been the storyline in this game, certainly in the second half. Kennedy has been brutal on the offensive glass against Memorial. They've just not been kept off the glass at all. Two-shot fouls. It was in the act of shooting. Simmons not fazed at all. He'll switch that one home now. 10 points in the game for Zaire Simmons. Foul went against Edward Lugo, number 15 for Memorial. Simmons knocks down a pair. 11 points for the freshman. 2:13 and counting now left to go in the game. 7-point lead for Kennedy. Down the floor, there goes Swan, and Swan gets on the board here in the fourth quarter. He's got 19. Turnover forced on the ensuing inbounds, and the and one opportunity for Edward Lugo off the assist from Momar and Dye. Lugo's first points of the game. 17 foul against Kennedy, and that is also going to be personal foul number 3 in the game against Jesus Romero. And now Memorial 1 foul shot away from making this a 2-point game. They do just that as Lugo knocks it down. 3 points in the game on the 3-point play for Lugo. Full court pressure, and there's going to be an offensive foul against Kennedy, wiping out what would have been the layup. Kennedy had the open floor executed to perfection for the bang-bang layup, but the offensive foul whistled against number 5, Zaire Simmons. That is also personal foul number 4 for the freshman. One more, he's out. 58-56. What an exciting second game of this tournament. There's Garcia through the trees, missing the layup. He's upset. That was halfway down. Here's Crawford, watched by Garcia. Getting it over to Romero. Romero spacing the floor. Simmons looking for an opening and a timeout given to Coach Tommy Paterson. Memorial was close to picking up a 5-second violation against the freshman as Simmons had nowhere to roam. Said a good timeout taken by Kennedy as they'll talk things over. They're nursing a 2-point lead, 58-56. This has been the closest game of this tournament so far. Passaic Valley outlasting Bergenfield in impressive fashion, 62-44 in that win. Their star player, Brian Whitney, 38 points in the Hornet victory. We've seen a scintillating performance produced here by Jaquan Briggs. 27 points right now for Kennedy. Aaron Swan with 19 points for Memorial in this game. As Kennedy trying to get to the finish line here and secure win number 1 on the season. They're 0-2 on the year. And again, they were called at the last second to fill the gap needed in this tournament after Riverdale announced to the tournament here at Fort Lee that they had players under protocol for COVID and could not field the team. Kennedy came in at the last second and might show up here to Fort Lee and advance themselves to the semifinals. Memorial has something to say about that, though, with 1:22 remaining. Romero was the inbounder, got it back to him. And now hooked around and a foul whistled on the floor. I think Arango was trying to buy a call there. The referee wasn't buying, but he was selling. And now that's going to be the 9th team foul against Memorial, which will send Kennedy to the foul line shooting 1-1. Kennedy has had their struggles at the foul line here tonight. They hit their foul shots. They're going to be in a good position to pull out this victory with 1:18 remaining here in the fourth. Last 1-1 of the game. Romero 1 of 2 at the foul line so far in this contest. Romero missing the first foul shot, but what else? An offensive rebound for Kennedy. Valuable seconds now ticking off. Simmons in the corner. Latson reversing it. Good ball movement. Kennedy playing keep away. Coming up on the final minute of regulation, leading by 2. Crawford gets bumped on the play by Arango. That'll be the 10th team foul against Memorial, which will send Yasin Crawford to the line shooting 2 with 56.6 seconds left to go in our ball game. Crawford 1 of 3 at the line so far in this contest. And a whistle sound. So they whistled the end of the play before they could even attempt the foul shot. Don't know what it was, but they'll just redo everything. As the next game waits in anticipation, Passaic going to be taking on Wayne Hills. As Yasin Crawford knocks down the first foul shot. 6 points in the game now for the senior. 59-56 to make this a 2-possession game, but he goes 1 of 2 at the line and misses. Hope still alive here for Memorial. They don't need to go for 3 here. Nice dish and find inside. Finds Aaron Swan for the easy 2. Off the assist by Ethan Garcia and a quick timeout taken. 46.2 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. It's now Kennedy on top of Memorial, 59-58. What an exciting game here. Again, we will be followed today by Passaic taking on Wayne Hills. That'll be our next ball game. And then our fourth and final quarterfinal of the day is going to have the home side, the Bridgman of Fort Lee, playing host to Secaucus. Every foul the rest of the way against Memorial will be 2 shots for Kennedy. They had a chance to extend their lead to 4, but they went 1 of 2 at the line last time to make it only a 3-point lead, and then just dizzying his way down the floor was Ethan Garcia. I've been impressed by the senior guard. Beautiful dish and find underneath to the waiting hands of Aaron Swan. Swan will come off the floor as they now put on the full court pressure as Jesus Santos has come into the game. Here's that full court pressure. Simmons trying to flip that one around. And a timeout granted again to Coach Paterson. He has had the magic touch with a couple of these perfectly timed timeouts when it looked like his team was about to turn it over. Timeout granted to Kennedy with 41.9 seconds left to go here in regulation. 59-58, the Kennedy lead. Memorial is led by as many as 9 points in the third quarter. Led by 5 at halftime. Led by 3 at the end of 3. Kennedy has taken as big as a 7-point lead here in this quarterfinal showdown and are trying to salt away what would be win number 1 of the 2021-2022 season. And would take on another Passaic County rival in Passaic Valley if they were victorious here this afternoon. We thank you for tuning in and supporting these student athletes from both fine institutions. This has been a fun one, and again, if you are a basketball fan, this is your destination right after Christmas. We have some late Christmas gifts to give you. Some great basketball on full display here at East Gym at Fort Lee. So after the timeout, again, it's going to be that full court pressure being administered by Memorial. 41.9 seconds left to go. They get into the hands of Briggs. Briggs over to Romero. Double team coming. Getting to Crawford on the baseline again. Time is on the side of Kennedy. They're just playing keep away. They finally get a foul whistled against Memorial as they slap the foul on the back of LaDorian Lanson. And that'll send Lanson to the line shooting 2. Lanson is 1 of 2 at the line here today. Time ticked off on that last possession, though. 26.9 remaining in the contest. Lanson front rims it. And the poor foul shooting is keeping Memorial in this game. They trail by only 1 as Aaron Swan comes back into the fold. Latson to try to push this lead to 2. He does just that. 1 of 2 at the line, 2 of 4 for the game. 60-58. Memorial trails by 2. And Dye. Now Kennedy throwing the full court pressure on. And a timeout has to be taken by head coach Steve Leon of Memorial, as Rango and the rest of the Memorial Tigers kind of caught by surprise that Kennedy would put the full court pressure on right after the made foul shot. 60-58 the lead right now for the Knights. Late here in the fourth quarter of play. Aaron Swan has been the leading scorer today for the Tigers, 21 points. 27 points on the other sideline for Jaquan Briggs. Will Memorial go for the tie here, or will they try to take the lead with a three-point shot? They have knocked down only 4 made three-pointers in this game, and none have come so far here in the fourth. Trying to bounce back after a loss their last time out. Same could be said for Kennedy. Kennedy looking for a hard-fought win on moment's notice. He's getting the text message, hey, you want to come here and play in this tournament? There's an opening. Kennedy said yes earlier this morning, came here midway through the first game and have been ready to play at a moment's notice. Now Memorial down by 2, 60-58, 22.3 seconds left to go in regulation. Lugo will be the inbounder, trying to get into the hands of Arango. Arango has been held in check, only 8 points in the game for the leading scorer for Memorial. Romero, great on-ball defense. Arango getting around him. Arango floats that one in for the tying bucket. 60-60. 5 seconds left to go in regulation. Crawford, step back three in the air. He leaves it short, and we are headed to overtime. Alejandro Arango, the star player from Memorial, took it on his shoulders and brought them back to a tie score. Went one-on-one against Jesus Romero, played great defense on him. But it was just a little too much for Arango there at the end. The up and under move and the nice soft touch on the jumper inside the lane. And then Yasid Crawford tried to play hero with a step back three, airballed that one. And now it is a 60-60 game, end of regulation, as we will play extra basketball and head to overtime here at East Gym at Fort Lays. So Passaic and Wayne Hills are just going to have to wait a little bit longer here, as we have extra basketball to decide who will punch their ticket to the semifinals, as Passaic Valley awaits the victor of today's contest. Both teams have held their share of the lead in this one. Again, Memorial is led by as many as 9. Kennedy led by as many as 7. But if Coach Paterson's side does not come out with a victory here in overtime, they're going to look at their poor foul shooting as the cause of this missed opportunity here in this quarterfinal showdown. Interesting that Memorial was sending out their point guard, Ethan Garcia, for the tip, and just kind of fine with allowing that opening possession to go over to Kennedy. So we begin overtime. They work it around the perimeter with Romero. Now Crawford. Crawford's three, if it were online, that would have won the game at the buzzer. Simmons missing the shot. Ladson fouls the miss. Another offensive rebound for Kennedy. Ladson again trying to tip it out, and eventually gets into the waiting hands of Aaron Swan. Here comes Memorial trying to retake the lead. Drawing the contact in the foul and the dribble drive was Alejandro Arango. And that'll be the 9th team foul against Kennedy, which will mean 1-1 upcoming now for Arango, who had that clutch bucket that sent this game to overtime. Orango knocks down that first foul shot. So Orango with the first points of overtime. And Orango knocks down a pair at the line. He's 4 for 4 there today. And Orango and Memorial have retaken the lead. It's now 62-60 over Kennedy. Coming up on a minute gone by here in OT. Romero up top now to Briggs. Briggs, who has 27 in the game for Kennedy. Orango has scored the last 4 in the game for Memorial. Simmons contested on that shot. Bricked that one and didn't draw iron. Here's Orango. Orango in the open floor to Garcia. Garcia over across the middle. No good. Latson skies for the rebound. He's been impressive inside as a rebounder on both sides of the floor. There's Briggs, and Briggs knocks down the floater. Ties up the score at 62 all. 29 in the game now for Jaquan Briggs. Here's that full court pressure on defense for Kennedy. Orango dribbling around the defense. Pull-up jumper by Orango, no good. And Ndaye try to win back possession. They're going to say last touch off of Ndaye, who actually fell down as that shot was being taken, hustled back up to his feet to try to win back the ball. Touched it last as it went out of bounds. Now Kennedy, with 2 minutes left to go in overtime, with a chance to retake the lead. Romero getting it back to Crawford, back to Romero to the near side. Here's Briggs. Briggs has been the focal point of this offense. He's been a slasher. Now to Romero in the near side corner. Patient offense right now being run by the Knights of Kennedy. Romero going against this zone. Memorial daring an outside shot for Kennedy. On the baseline, the floater doesn't fall. Swan gets the rebound and a reach-in foul called against Romero, and that will be double bonus time now. That'll send Swan and Memorial down the other way with 2 shots and a chance to retake the lead with 1:25 remaining in first overtime. Jesus Romero will pick up his 4th personal foul as well. 1 more and he's out. What a touch here today displayed by Aaron Swan. 22 points of the game. He has had beautiful hands right in front of the rim and a nice shooter's touch. Swan, jinx there. 1 of 2 at the line. 63-62, the lead for Memorial as we approach the final minute of the first OT here in the quarterfinal, the second game of this 4-game event on day number 1. Crawford, top of the key. 1 minute left to go in the half. Or in overtime. Jump shot, no good. Rebound out in space to Lugo. Lugo nearly dispossessed, holding on to it. Double team comes. It is a steal. Leads the other way. There's Simmons, and Simmons will lay it up and in. Defense leads to offense. Kennedy back on top by 1. Memorial had the stop on the other end of the floor that they were looking for, but could not hold on to it here on the offensive side. A double team came to Edward Lugo. He coughed it up, led to easy pickings the other way for Kennedy. Basket hanging the other way was Zaire Simmons, and Simmons gets the easy layup to give Kennedy the lead back at 64-63. What a back and forth game here as we are in overtime right now. 4 quarters, not enough to decide who would win in this matchup between Memorial and Kennedy. And again, the winner will play Passaic Valley in our first semifinal tomorrow afternoon. Stick around as we have plenty more basketball coming up here on our first day of this 2021 Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament. Upcoming is going to be Passaic taking on Wayne Hills. And then our 4th and final game of our first day, it's going to be Sea Caucus taking on the hosts in Fort Lee. So the Tigers trail the Knights by 1. Memorial trailing 64-63. Orango will be doing the inbounding for Memorial with 41 seconds left to go here in the first overtime. He inbounds it inside to Ethan Garcia. Garcia back to Orango. Orango had the bucket just at the end of regulation that forced overtime. Briggs is going to be guarding him. Double bonus for both teams the rest of the way, so 2 shots on any foul. Coming up on 20 seconds left to go. Memorial being very patient here, down by a point. 15 seconds left to go. Garcia backing out to Orango. Orango asking for the screen from Swan. Orango with 7 seconds left. Passing over to Garcia. Garcia cutting in. Garcia pulls up inside the lane, missing the shot, batted away, and Kennedy will survive and hold on to win by a final score of 64-63. Memorial got the shot they were looking for inside. Ethan Garcia just could not get it to fall. And Swan was kept off the offensive glass at the last moment by Kennedy. And the Kennedy Knights were called early this morning to see if they would be willing to participate in this tournament. They came back and win their first game of the season in overtime by a final score of 64-63. Jaquan Briggs finishing with a game-high 29 points in the win for Kennedy, who go to 1-2 on the season. Memorial with a loss will fall to 1-2. Memorial will take on Bergenfield tomorrow in the consolation bracket, while Kennedy will go on to the semifinals and take on Passaic Valley as they try to contend and repeat as Jack Reilly Holiday Tournament champions. So that's 2 games in the books. Coming up, our third game is Passaic taking on Wayne Hills. We invite you to stay here on YouTube to watch that game. So for Dimitri Nanis and Renee Matisic, I'm Dan Long saying so long from East Gymnasium. Kennedy, your winners in overtime.